Hi, my name is Arushi Ganguly and you are watching The Social Talks. Today, I will be talking about the Cyprus confidential investigation that was recently launched in Cyprus, which has much in common with the widely known and widely reported Panama Papers from quite a few years ago. An ICIJ-led investigation exposes how Cyprus firms provided services to help key backers of Russian President Vladimir Putin's regime shelter their wealth and then, as Russia was invading Ukraine last year, hide billions of dollars in assets from the threat of sanctions. Cyprus Confidential reveals how Cypriot financial enablers scrambled to help Russian oligarchs and Putin allies shield their assets and avoid Western sanctions. It spills the secret of a European financial hub's clandestine role in protecting and moving oligarchs' assets around the world even as Russia launched its attacks on Ukraine last year. The investigation was led by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, a non-profit newsroom based in Washington, D.C., and a global network of journalists and Munich-based Paper Trail Media. The reporting is based on more than 3.6 million leaked files from 6 Cyprus-based financial services providers and a Latvian firm that sells Cypriot corporate registry documents through a website called iCyprus. Clients of the financial service firms include former Chelsea Football Club owner Roman Abramovich, a Russian military contractor, and Alexander Abramov and Alexander Krylov, the oligarchs behind Evraz, the Russian steelmaker producing most of the rails for trains delivering Russia's war material. Cyprus Confidential exposes how the Cyprus arm of global accounting giant PwC helped Alexei Mardashov, one of Russia's richest industrialists, transfer a $1.4 billion investment to his life partner in a bid to elude European Union sanctions. The investigation uncovers hidden payments by middlemen close to Mardashov to a famous German journalist to write a book about Putin's power, a deal that highlights the sophistication of the Russian propaganda machine abroad. It shows how Peter Avin, one of the key strategists behind the Russian financial powerhouse the Alpha Group, used a Cyprus firm to shift $5 million outside of European authorities' reach, just as the EU was announcing sanctions on members of Putin's inner circle, including him. Reporting based on the financial documents also provides a glimpse into the oligarchs' lavish lifestyles, the private concerts featuring Amy Winehouse, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and other famous rock stars, their super yachts, and their priceless art collections. ICIJ's analysis of the leaked records so far have found nearly 800 companies and trusts registered in places that allow the rich to hide assets that were owned or controlled by Russians who later came under sanctions, including some who were sanctioned as early as 2014. Those include more than 650 Cyprus companies and trusts. Our discovery of the sudden wartime shifting of many hundreds of millions of dollars in assets demolishes the notion that financial sanctions have halted Russian dark money flows. It raises grave concerns about the active role played by Kremlin-friendly Cyprus firms in aiding Russians to evade international accountability. And it shows how the same murky operations favored by oligarchs are used by fraudsters, football financiers, money launderers, cyber spies, and many others. Reporters pooled their research as they mined the files, questioning dozens of subjects, conferred with experts, even traveled to Cyprus and beyond to uncover nests of trusts and shell companies used to shelter and enrich members of Putin's inner circle, and others. ICIJ project partners include Arab Reporters for Investigative Journalism, the Belarusian Investigative Center, the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, CBC, Der Spiegel, The Guardian, Le Monde, OCC, RP, Politikin, Syrian Investigative Reporting for Accountability Journalism, Ukraine's Slidvo, and The Washington Post. Beyond Russia, Cyprus Confidential reporting shows how PwC administered shell companies linked to a Curacao-based insurer and pension fund allegedly looted hundreds of millions of dollars. Cyprus Confidential reporting brings to light several efforts by Cyprus middlemen at the height of the Syrian civil war to assist Damascus in placing orders for American oil and gas drilling equipment, even though Western sanctions were in place. It reveals how a Polish skincare entrepreneur and ex-wife of an Israeli military intelligence commander attempted to conceal her involvement in an intricate network of cyber surveillance firms. And it shows how Ukrainian oligarch Rinat Akhmetov quietly agreed to to buy a London penthouse, parking spaces, and other amenities for about $122 million through a British Virgin Islands-based shell company. In response to questions, lawyers for Akhmetov said he was Ukraine's largest individual taxpayer. At a recent press conference, a Cyprus government spokesperson announced stepped-up efforts to coordinate sanctions enforcement internationally and said these efforts demonstrate, quote, the government's stated intention to show zero tolerance on matters concerning sanctions evasion and law violation, and by extension to safeguard the country's name as a reliable financial center, which is considered to be of key importance, end quote. This investigation is being seen as a call to action to investigate different aspects of industry that could be shady in nature. This information was brought to you by The Guardian, the ICIJ, and Cyprus Mail. We hope you gain some perspective on an important and complex issue, and we hope to see you again soon.